Inside Michigan Basketball is presented by Meijer.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. The Wolverines enter the final week of the regular season in contention for a Big Ten championship, but they had to take care of business, including Wednesday night, the home finale against Maryland, their only meeting this year against the Terrapins.
Let's get it out quick, run, put pressure on the defense. Let's use our depth, cutting with purpose. We've got to cut looking for the ball. We've got to try to confuse switches. We've got to get behind them and get lost and find it again. Win the shot battle. We've got to find a way to win the shot battle. Defensively, alertness to what's going on. Our blockouts, everything we do, we've got to be up, taking information with intensity, communication, and challenge the passes.
The Wolverines started strong, using a 10-0 run to take an early 7-point edge.
Kick right corner, Burnett a three, bullseye! Michigan with back-to-back threes!
But the Terps answered in a big way. They used a 26-8 stretch to close the half and take a 33-22 lead into the intermission.
Push pass right point, Donaldson, shot fake, leans in, scooping layup is good.
The Wolverine big men carried the load. Vlad Golden had 20 points and 15 rebounds. Danny Wolf, 20 points and 8 boards. Critical mistakes plagued them, committing 16 turnovers and surrendering 17 second chance points. Michigan crawled within a bucket twice, but never regained the lead. Maryland wins 71-65.
I thought we came out in the first half pretty lackadaisical. And I think in the second half, I mean, even myself, I think kind of started off on the wrong foot, but I think in that middle portion of the second half, it's kind of been the story of the last few games when we really come together. And that can be our, coach said it, our ground zero for what we're going to start games with and how hard we're going to play. I think we'll have a better chance, but tough loss, but just got to go into Michigan State on Sunday.
You had the spurt there in the second half, but prior to that, what was going on? Unable to find the offensive rhythm we've seen you guys hit so often this year.
Yeah, I think it's just a confidence thing. I think that eventually the lid is going to fall off the room for some of my teammates, for myself included. And I mean, yeah, I have nothing but confidence, all the confidence in the world in my teammates and coaches, and I know this will make us better.
Proud of our effort in the second half. I felt like we came out of halftime and we played, how we need to play in the second half. Unfortunately, it took us the first half to figure out how to do it, but we just got to bring that momentum into East Lansing and give it all we got.
Why has this team struggled to find an offensive rhythm here lately?
Confidence. That's all it is. Coach May said in the locker room, we got evidence of every guy being an offensive animal. We just got to, find it within ourselves, get our confidence back, and bring it.
You're a veteran. Why do you think confidence would be waning this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you see a few shots, rim out, you're second-guessing your next one, and then that happens a couple games in a row, and then you're really questioning yourself, and, it can kind of snowball.
Lastly, how confident are you that this will get turned around in short order?
Highly confident.
Leave it at that?
Yep.
Coach May is up next. Later, a happy homecoming on Senior Day, plus a brother's unbreakable bond.
Inside Michigan Basketball is presented by Meijer, proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. Our conversation with the coach is brought to you by Meijer.
Joined as always by head coach Dusty May. And coach, first of all, just give us a thought about the loss Thursday against Maryland.
Well, certainly not the way we wanted to finish our home slate. And I wish we could have finished well and showed our fans a little more appreciation and gratitude. But our guys fought like crazy. They competed. They made a nice comeback to put us in position, and we just didn't make the plays we needed to win.
Finding offensive rhythm. Can you dive into that topic a little bit? Because clearly there's been a little struggle here lately.
Yeah, we were 18 games in. We were number 20 in the country in three-point shooting. And the last 13 games were around 355th. And so it's been a challenge for us to make shots. And if we were able to shoot the ball a little better from three, it would open up things for Vlad inside and Danny. But we made a few tonight. Hopefully that gets our confidence and rhythm back. But the turnovers reared their ugly head at the wrong times yesterday against Maryland. But the guys are battling, they're fighting, trying to figure out a way to get this fixed.
Turnovers and second chance points. We've talked about this a number of times this year. At this point of the season, How do you attack trying to fix those things?
Well, daily. We haven't had much practice time lately because of the way the schedules fallen. So we haven't been able to address it as on the court as much as we have through film. And we're also playing teams that are bigger and very aggressive on the glass. So we just got to continue to inch away at it and make progress. But the turnovers they've plagued us all season.
We should highlight the fact that Maryland's a real good basketball team. What kind of challenge did they pose? Derek Queen does so much for that team and kind of carries them offensively, and everyone kind of just plays off of him.
Well, the consistency in college basketball is Maryland has one of the best starting fives in all of college basketball, a top 5, top 3 unit, and so you have to get the pace up and try to get to their lack of depth a little bit, and we weren't able to do that. The faster we played, it seemed like we were a little bit too excited, but man, it's a talented group with those 3 guards, their ability to make shots, and then Queen's versatility in his playmaking, and then Reese just does all the dirty work.
What did you see from your guys during that second half run?
A lot of fight and competitive spirit. I was very pleased with how we were competing, how we looked connected on the court, and we've got to have that as our baseline as far as effort. But we've got to execute a little bit better on both sides of the ball.
You coached for a long time. When you've seen a team go through struggles, what have you seen as something that can get you out of it? Is it a moment? Is it something bigger?
I've always believed it's just energy and a group being connected and realizing that we need each other. And even if it's not going well for the individual, they've got to find ways to add something to the group.
And lastly, finishing out the regular season later today at Michigan State, just talk about playing the Spartans for a second time as you get ready to launch into postseason play.
Well, it gives us an opportunity to play and compete against our rival after not playing a good second half against them here in Ann Arbor. And so we're just excited that we have some meaningful games on CBS, nationally televised, and we'll put our best foot forward.
Still to come, an overseas visit for Senior Day, and a Wolverine shares his story of brotherly love.
Growing up, everything was about Michigan. Saturdays were reserved for football, and the dream of playing basketball here was always present.
Harrison Hochberg attended his first Michigan sporting event at 7 weeks old and eventually saw that dream come true.
I worked as hard as I possibly could with just the hope that one day it'll work out and I would get the offer to walk on here. And Coach Howard gave me that opportunity, and it was the greatest day of my life. I bring energy, I bring competitive juice every single day, no matter what. Coming off a win, coming off a loss, my energy needs to stay the same, and I'm always trying to get camaraderie and help my teammates as best they can be prepared for the next game.
Hochberg said he gets his motivation from being an underdog, being told he would never play at Michigan, but mostly from his family.
Their support drives me, and I get my motivation specifically from my youngest brother, Jackson.
Jackson. Hi.
Jackson, his most profound motivation.
Harrison really looks after him. He's always concerned about him, and they just have the most special relationship.
Jackson was born with lissencephaly, a rare brain-based disorder.
Its common name is smooth brain, so it means that whereas a brain has a lot of folds in it, his brain did not develop in that way. And he's missing some of the connectors that tell your brain tells body parts to do things.
I've always felt that I owe it to myself and I owe it to him to work twice as hard to accomplish my dreams and let him live that through me.
Describe your relationship with him.
He's my best friend. He's my best friend in the entire world. I would not be the person I am today without him.
Harrison is Jackson's favorite person, and Jackson, I think, is Harrison's favorite person. Jackson absolutely lights up, whether it's Harrison's picture or when he calls or FaceTimes or you just mention Harrison's name to him. He gets so excited and he smiles and he laughs and he squeals.
Jackson attends a special school in New York, splitting time between his parents, Jackie and Robert. He uses a Toby advice to communicate with his eyes.
I've learned more and communicated with him as much as anyone else in my life. Whether it's just laying on his floor, joking around, or He'll come into the backyard out in our house in Long Island and just watch me shoot, and I talk to him while I'm shooting, and you keep him engaged.
On the whistle fly.
I think about the physical challenges he has to go through every day, and I use it as motivation 100% if I'm going through a grueling workout.
Harrison says he tries to do something every day that would make his little brother proud.
I'm so proud of my relationship with Jackson, more proud than any other relationship I have in my life. He has taught me how to be happy and the meaning of being happy, and the fact that it doesn't come off materialistic things, it comes off relationships and, finding joy in the simple things in life.
Jackie, a Michigan alum, attended the 1989 Final Four in Seattle as a student. She says one of her proudest days was when Harrison gifted her a Michigan Mom sweatshirt.
Michigan means so much to me. It was an important part of my life. It's continued to be an important part of my life. And knowing that Harrison is getting that experience that I had, plus so much more, just is incredible. And I love nothing more than coming back here and watching him in my happy place, and it's now his happy place.
He's embraced it as much as possible, and I know deep down he sees me wearing the Michigan jersey with pride, and he looks at me and I know he admires it, and it's my dream come true just having him there and getting to experience that with him.
Coach, we just saw a very touching story on Harrison and his brother Jackson. Can you tell us what he brings to this team as a walk-on?
Well, Harrison's a good basketball player. He's got size, so he adds a lot in scout team and as a defensive player in practice. He's a great young man. He's very likable. He loves being around the team, and he loves his role. And so just to see him share this with his family is very, very moving. And, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
How important are those roles?
Well, they do a lot for us, and any role on a team is incredibly important because you bring energy, you bring enthusiasm, he brings basketball IQ. He loves the game, he's been around the game, he's been coached well, and so he's a guy that if he continues to work, he could end up carving out a role in many meaningful minutes.
Thanks, Coach, appreciate it. Up next, Vlad Golden with a reunion, 5 years in the making.
Michigan fans, let's hear it one more time for your 2025 Michigan basketball senior class.
Sunday, the Wolverines celebrated Senior Day by hosting Illinois. Another sellout at Chrysler, their fourth game in 10 days.
Straight on three ball, Donaldson up and good. Jumping down to a cutting Riley. Pivots, turns, floats, and scores from 3 feet away. Spins in the paint, leans in, Banks got it to go. Vlad Golden with his second bucket, 13-12 U of M.
Midway through the half, the Illini ripped off a quick 8-0 run and went up as many as 7.
Ivasic, 3-ball right wing is pure on another dynamite feed from Kasparas Yakichonis.
But Michigan closed the half strong and only trailed by 1 at the break.
Skip it Golden, one dribble from the free throw line, leans in on Hummer, Cow scoops and scores. He has 8 of Michigan's 21, whips it left wing, Burnett wide open at 3, bullseye. 31-28 Illinois, shimmies to the left at 4, low block right, here's Wolf, goes up for a reverse layup and scores it with 1 second left. Halftime, and the Wolverines are indeed down by just a point. Now backs down Ivasic, playing with 2 fouls. Into the paint, Golden spinning, pivoting, hooking, scoring, counted in a foul.
Vlad Golden will be handing Ivasic a 1099 after this, the way he's putting in work on him.
Vlad Golden led Michigan with 22 and put them on top early in the second with this beauty.
Other side, Yakichonis underneath the cup, reversing layup, nowhere close. Good defense, Cheddar, and the rebound down to Vlad Golden. Golden brings it into the forecourt right to left, takes it all the way, Euros in the lane, banks and scores! Vlad said, why not? I'll show my parents I can play a little point. Michigan up 139-38.
But Illinois found the range and punished the Wolverines on the glass.
Rebound, popcorns into the arms of Boswell. Underneath the cup, skip it right wing, White for 3, yep. And the offensive rebound turns into a triple.
The visitors grabbed 19 offensive rebounds and scored 30 second chance points.
Offensive rebound and a reverse layup, good for Trey White. And the offensive rebounds just continue to elevate.
93-73, the final from Chrysler.
It hurts, especially losing at senior day. It's playing at home, playing like that, it's always hurts, especially showing that kind of game to our fans.
Senior Day was especially memorable for Golden, who was seeing his parents for the first time since he came to the States 5 years ago.
This is tough after a loss like this, but can you separate a little bit and tell me what it felt like to have your family here today?
I probably can't separate it, so if it's great, it feels like they always been here, so it's probably that kind of relationship we have between me and my parents, but it felt like they always been here.
When you first saw them, can you describe the emotion?
Like every possible emotion you can feel, like everything at the same time, like goosebumps, sweat, like call of the God at the same time.
Up next, the women with an historic performance at the Big Ten tournament. The women closed their regular season March 2nd at Illinois. And you talk about finishing strong, Michigan used a 17-0 run late in the fourth to pull away. Mila Holloway scored 8 straight to jumpstart the stretch and finished with a team-high 19. Silas Swords was next with 18. Michigan wraps up with a 20-9 record, 11-7 in conference play.
They parlayed that comeback win into the number 5 seed for the Big Ten tournament, opening up Thursday afternoon in downtown Indianapolis against the Washington Huskies.
The Wolverines, a semifinalist last year, have won 20 or more games 12 times under coach Kim Barnes-Arico, knocking off Washington 82-69 back in January. Midway through the third, Michigan trailed by 3, but went on a 16-2 surge to close the quarter. Big Ten co-freshman of the year Olivia Olson led the way with 21 points and 6 rebounds. Swords, her cohort on the league's all-freshman team, was next with 15 points. The Maize and Blue were up 11 after 3 and never saw the lead fall below 8 the rest of the way. 66-58 the final from the Hoosier State. Jump to Friday and a semifinal clash against 4th seed Maryland. If you think our winter weather has wild swings, check this out. Tied early, Michigan proceeded to go on a 25-0 run, building a 31-6 lead. The Terps countered with a 29-4 stretch to get within 1. It was a 4-point Michigan lead at the break. But Maryland ran out of gas, and the Wolverines jumped back on the accelerator to score 57 second-half points. 3 players combined for 65 of their total. Olsen scored 20. Swords was next highest with 22. And Jordan Hobbs netted a career-high 23. The Wolverines shot 61%, made 12 of 23 from deep, and earned a berth in the semifinals 98-71. Their most points ever in a Big Ten tournament game.
We had 28 assists, so that kind of just shows how unselfish our team is and how we want to get whoever's open the shot, and we hit a lot of shots today, so that was good too.
Keeping that confidence. That being said, we're young, so we're going to make mistakes, but it's really great to ride on what we've done so far, ride on the little streak that we've created for ourselves. Again, looking back at the film and not getting too high or too low, but really just focusing on knowing that if we do what we do, then we can win a lot of games.
That pushed them into a Saturday semifinal battle with USC, the nation's number 2 team. The Wolverines didn't shoot it all that well, only 38.5%, but they battled. Midway through the second quarter, Michigan led by 9 and had them by a bucket at the break. Silas Swords paced the Maize and Blue with a game-high 26. The contest was tied at 60 with 6:29 to go when the Trojans ripped off a 14-0 spurt in just over 3 minutes. Big Ten Player of the Year Juju Watkins popped in 20. Southern Cal moved on to the conference championship game with an 82-70 win. Michigan now waits for the NCAA selection show on March 16th.
That's our show for this week. The men will also be in Indianapolis for their Big Ten tournament. We'll be there with daily coverage beginning with Friday's quarterfinals and recap the Wolverines' run on our next edition. We'll see you then.
Inside Michigan Basketball is presented by Meijer, proud supporter of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest.